What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to share with you 3 returns that I recently got back in the mail, and as you can tell from the intro, they are Pittsburgh Pirate related. As a matter of fact, all 3 of these individuals were teammates at one time during their Pittsburgh Pirates career. So let me jump right into this. The first one is postmarked from Texas, and it is from former Pittsburgh Pirate, among other teams, Chuck Hartenstein, or Hartenstein. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. On 1, 2, 3, and I dropped the 4th, and 4. And as you can see, these are all the same 1970 tops. I went through my collection, and unbelievably, these are the only ones that I had in all of his cards that are out there. I, searched high and low, and unfortunately, these 4 1970 tops were the only 4 that I had. So, in addition to signing that, he also sent a nice little note on the back of the note that I wrote, the handwritten letter that I wrote. Good luck with your collection, and he also signed that as well right there. So, kind of a nice little neat memento, I must say. So let me tell you a little bit about Chuck Hartenstein's career. Hartenstein, a Texas native, also played at the University of Texas for the Texas Longhorns. He was a successful pitcher on that team, helping lead his Texas Longhorns to the 1962 and 63 World Series. After the College World Series years, he signed with the Chicago Cubs, and he pitched in the Texas League, so he didn't have to go far to pitch in the Texas League. And on June 17th, 1965, this is kind of one of the rare feats in minor league baseball history. The score was tied 1-1 in the 9th inning of that game, and Hartenstein was the one that gave up the tying run. Well, he stayed in the game for 9 more innings that game and pitched to the 18th inning, allowing only that 1 run, 8 hits, walking 4, and struck out 7. The game actually continued through the 25th inning that day, and eventually Hartenstein's team won 2-1. At the time, it was the longest game in Texas League history. I'd hate to think what the longest one is if 25 innings was the longest one at the time. In 1965, Hartenstein got called up to the majors, but ironically, he appeared as a pinch runner in his first game and not a pitcher. His most productive season as a pitcher came in 1967 for the Cubs when he went 9-5 with a 3.08 ERA and 10 saves, all career highs that would last throughout his career. He also enjoyed a solid season in 1969 with the Pirates, going 5-4 with a 3.85 ERA and 10 saves. Hartenstein would spend the 1970 season with 3 organizations, the Pirates, the Cardinals, and the Red Sox. He would then spend some time in the minor leagues, and he would be traded from the White Sox. He would move on from the Red Sox to the White Sox to the San Francisco Giants in 1973. He would not return to the major leagues, battling injuries and spending time in the minors, and would come back with the expansion team Toronto Blue Jays in 1977. After the 1977 season, Hartenstein didn't play in the majors again. In his 6-season career, Hartenstein posted a 17-19 record with a 3.63 ERA and 23 saves in 187 relief appearances. Following his playing career, Hartenstein coached for the Cleveland Indians in 1979 and the Milwaukee Brewers from 87 to 89. After he was let go by the Brewers, he would then become a scout for the California Angels, and it doesn't really say after that if he continued to work through baseball throughout his career. But he is now currently 78 years old, so I would assume that he is retired, but you never know. He could still be working in baseball in some capacity. So again, I want to thank Chuck for signing those for me. I never got him before. If anybody needs one of these 1970 tops for a set or something, please let me know. Be more than happy to trade you one. Alright, so this next one is signed from former Pittsburgh Pirate on his rookie card. Luke Walker on one. A second makes two. A third. And a fourth when he was traded to the Detroit Tigers. So let me tell you about Luke Walker's career. Walker, another Texas native, would play his high school baseball in Texas and would sign his first professional contract with the Boston Red Sox. He would spend one season in 1963 with the Red Sox organization before being traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1964. He would spend 64 and 1965 primarily in the minor leagues, however would get a call-up in 1965 for 2 games with the Pirates, making his debut at just 21 years old. In 1966, he would repeat most of the year in AAA for the Pirates organization, however would make 10 appearances for the Pirates in 1966, appearing in 10 games as a lefty specialist. Well, in 1967, he would return to the minors to be a starter and would spend the entire 67 season in the minor leagues. And in 1968, he would get his chance at the majors, appearing in 39 games for the Pirates in their bullpen and posting a 2.02 ERA in his first full season in the majors primarily. Well, in 1969, he would make the team and would spend a little time in the minors, appearing in 5 games in rookie ball. I would assume probably rehabbing an injury would be my guess. But he would split the season being a starter, a spot starter, and reliever. Well, going into the 1970 season, which he would have been teammates with Hartenstein at that time, he actually had a breakout year that year, going 15-6. He would start 19 of 42 games that year, so closely to half, winning 15 of them in relief and being a starter. He would be part of the 1971 Pirates World Series championship team, where he would be a starter in the World Series that year, and he would finish the year with a 10-8 record. A neat trivia fact about Luke Walker is he's actually the first pitcher in the history of the World Series to pitch a night game in the World Series. Although his outing was not really good, he is the first person, little trivia note, to pitch in a World Series at night. The first night game in a World Series, I should say. So that's kind of a neat little trivia question I might just throw your way in the future. He would follow up the 1972 and 73 season with the Pirates. He would again be a spot starter here and there. He would not match his 15-win season, of course. Then, during the 1974 season, he would be traded after the 73 season and spend the 74 season with the Detroit Tigers. Well, with the Tigers, again, he would start 9 games, appearing in 28, but he had a .500 record that year. Well, after the 74 season, he would then move on to the Houston Astros for the 75 season. However, he stayed the entire year in AAA for the Astros, and after the 75 season, Luke Walker hung it up from playing baseball in the major leagues. So after his career, he retired, obviously, at 31. I'm not really sure what he did post-playing career, but I want to thank Mr. Walker very much for signing those cards for me. All right, so the final one is from another Pittsburgh Pirate / St. Louis Cardinal, Dave Giusti, or Dave Giusti. And there's a Topps Mini, one signed by him there. And he signed these in ink pen, so they're kind of hard to see. And he also signed this one with the Padres, which is, you don't see too many Padres cards from the 69 set, but he did sign all of them. They're just kind of faint because they're signed in pen, but regardless, they are signed. So let me tell you a bit about Dave Giusti, or Dave Giusti. I've heard it pronounced both ways, but I definitely have not heard it called Dave Giusti. So hopefully I'm giving you justice, no pun intended, by saying his name correctly, Dave Giusti. Giusti, a New York native, attended and played baseball at Syracuse University and actually pitched in the 1961 College World Series, where, if you recall, I told you Hartenstein pitched in the 62 and 63 World Series with the Texas Longhorns. And he signed out of college as a free agent with the Houston Colt 45s, or later the Astros. He played for the Houston organization from 62 to 68. And shortly before the 68 draft, Giusti was traded to the St. Louis Cardinals, right there. And they left him unprotected, and he was drafted in the expansion draft by the Padres. 2 months later, Giusti was then traded back to the Cardinals, where he would finish the season that year with them. He competed that year for the 5th starter's role in spring training, but lost it to Mike Torres and remained in the bullpen for the Cardinals. After the 69 season, Giusti was traded to the Pirates. With the Pirates, he converted into a full-time relief pitcher under manager Danny Murtaugh. And Giusti soon became one of the leading relief pitchers in the National League. Using his sinking palm ball heavily, Giusti recorded 20 or more saves in each of his next 4 baseball seasons and led the National League with 30 saves in 1971 for the Pirates, which would go on to win the World Series that year. Giusti appeared in 3 games for the Pirates in the 71 series, earning a save in Game 4. And in that year in 71, he was also awarded the Sporting News Reliever of the Year award. In 1973, Giusti was selected to the National League All-Star team. He pitched a 1-2-3 7th inning for the National League that won the game 7-1 that year. Shortly before beginning the 77 season, he was traded to the Oakland A's as part of a 10-player trade. This is the one that sent Tony Armas, Doc Medage to the A's as well, and Phil Garner and Tommy Helms to the Pirates. In August of that year, the A's didn't hold on to him long. They sold his contract to the Cubs, where he finished the season. And after being released by the Cubs that November, he decided to retire. Giusti's most valuable pitch and what he's known for is his palm ball. He was one that perfected that pitch very early on in the history of baseball. So it says on his Wikipedia page, after his retirement from baseball, he worked for American Express, and he was a corporate sales manager for American Express, so he didn't leave home without it. Nope. Sorry, bad joke there. That's the American Express logo, and it says, as of 2002, he retired from American Express and is now living in Pennsylvania. So I want to thank Mr. Giusti for signing my cards. He is, a very integral part of Pittsburgh Pirates history, being their closer for those seasons that he was there. Most importantly, that 71 World Series team. I also want to thank his teammate from that year on the 71 team, Mr. Luke Walker, for signing his cards as well. I also want to thank Mr. Hartenstein, who was not with the team in 71. He was there in 1970, unfortunately. Didn't get him a World Series ring the next year. But I want to thank all of these men for signing their cards for me. I never had gotten them before, so I'm very happy to add them to the collection. Unfortunately, Mr. Woody Fryman has passed away, so I won't be able to get him on that card as well. But I want to thank you for taking the time to watch, and as always, happy collecting.